Hey friends, Elizabeth here from Plant-Based-Bride, and welcome back to another BuJo Babble episode. In my BuJo Babble videos, I set up a spread in my bullet journal while I chat about typically a bullet journal related topic. It's kind of like a visual podcast. So in today's BuJo Babble, I want to talk about the concept of BuJo Block or burnout and what we can do to combat this. So in case you're not familiar with either of those terms, a creative block is a period of time when an artist can't access their creativity or they can't bring themselves to create a new piece of work. BuJo Block is similar. You might not have ideas for themes if you use them, you might not be able to think of new spreads to make, or don't feel like setting up your regular ones, or maybe you just don't feel like using your bullet journal at all. I've been hearing from a lot of you that you've been dealing with BuJo Block or burnout during quarantine, and I can totally relate. Burnout is a reaction to prolonged or chronic stress in an area of your life, usually creative or work-related, and it's characterized by three main dimensions, which are exhaustion, cynicism, and feelings of reduced ability. Burnout often has both physical and emotional symptoms, including headaches, stomach aches, fatigue, lack of concentration, reduced creativity, an inability to cope, and a feeling of being drained. While block and burnout are not the same, a creative block is often caused by exhaustion and stress, two of the main risk factors for and symptoms of burnout. In my experience, they are intrinsically linked, one often leading to the other in either direction. I seriously know the struggle of burnout and creative block really well as someone who has always worked in creative fields and had creative hobbies. So I wanted to share some of the steps that have helped me to recover from both, just in case you're in the same boat. So the number one thing that is the most important when dealing with any kind of block or burnout is rest. You need to give your mind a break. If you're dealing with BuJo Block or burnout, it probably means that you've been overdoing it or are overdoing it in other parts of your life and it's spilling over. And typically the only way to really truly recover, especially from burnout, is to rest. So take a break, reduce your use of your BuJo to the absolute basics, or stop using your BuJo altogether for a period of time. Even a week or two can make such a difference and can sometimes be enough. Though if you need longer, that is completely fine and totally normal. A bullet journal is supposed to make your life better, not drain you. If you need to take a step back for a bit, you should. You can always come back to it once you feel rested and ready to go again. My next tip is to recreate. If you still want to be creative in your BuJo, but you just can't seem to find the creativity to make your own themes and spreads, recreate someone else's. So many of us share our setups on YouTube and Instagram, on Pinterest. There is a wealth of inspiration. Find a theme you like and do your own twist on it, or even copy it 100%, just so long as you give credit if you decide to share it. Another thing that's helped me in the past is to give myself a little challenge. So some of the challenges I've tried have been doodling every day, journaling a line a day, or making a point to try to use an art supply that I haven't used in a long time. You could do something like setting up a spread and finding a way to incorporate every single washi tape you own or something like that. This is a chance to just have fun with your bullet journal and not get too caught up in perfection. Sometimes a little challenge is just the push you need. On a similar vein, you can also work to build a habit. So maybe you're finding that you're not being drawn to your BuJo as often, you're not finding yourself wanting to spend hours creating spreads. Maybe you just need to create a simple habit of using your BuJo for 5 minutes a day. Maybe one day you'll just journal a few lines, and on another day you'll do a simple doodle, and maybe eventually you'll find yourself getting an idea and deciding to sit for another 30 minutes to create a spread and find that your BuJo mojo has come back. Sometimes you just have to give yourself a push to get over that hump. Another thing that has helped me so much over the years is to brainstorm and keep those ideas around. Create a brain dump spread in your BuJo for any and all theme and spread ideas you literally ever have, even if it's something that you think is really simple and there's no need to write it down, or it's something that you think is maybe not the most useful thing and you probably will never get around to it, or a theme that you can't figure out how you'd even do. Just write it all down, because you never know when you'll be in a slump and you'll need that inspiration. And when you have it written down, you can take inspiration from your own past self. You never know what will spark your creative juices to get flowing again, so don't discriminate, just write all of your ideas down. Another thing that I definitely wouldn't recommend as a first step, but maybe something to try if you've tried a couple of these things and you're still in a slump, get new art supplies or a new journal. Now, don't go overboard on this one. I'll link the video where I explain to you why you don't need all the supplies you think you need, but honestly, sometimes getting a new fine liner or gel pen, or maybe an entirely new journal, can be just the thing you need to refresh yourself and feel reinvigorated and ready to go. Again, this is more of a last resort because it's so important that we use what we already have and not overconsume and create more waste than necessary. But listen, sometimes that new brush pen that makes your hand lettering look 110 times better is just what you need. Another thing that has helped me so much in the past has been participating in online bullet journaling communities, especially on Facebook and Reddit. In these communities, you have so many peers who are experiencing exactly the same things you are, and it's a great place to ask others for ideas and advice. You'd honestly be so surprised to see how many other people feel exactly the same way you do, and how many creative ideas others have that they would love to share with you. If you're not sure where to start, you can start in the comments of this video. Leave a comment with what you've been feeling, or a problem you've had, or maybe a spread you want to make but you're not exactly sure how to do it. Then scroll and find another comment to respond to, whether it's just with kind words, support, and understanding, or by giving them an idea of how to do what they're trying to accomplish in their BuJo. Community is what we make of it, and I think it's important that we make sure to continue to reach out to each other and help each other. And lastly, I'm going to repeat my first suggestion again because it really is the most fundamental. If you are burnt out or facing creative block, take time to rest. It is okay to take a break. It's okay to need time off. It's okay to simplify. Your bullet journal is there for you, how you need it, at different points in your life. And sometimes the best way it can be there for you is sitting in a drawer, patiently waiting for the time you feel you need it again. So those were my thoughts on BuJo Block and BuJo Burnout. I really hope this was helpful if you've been struggling with either or both of these things lately, or even if you've experienced these in the past and didn't necessarily realize what was happening. I am so familiar with burnout from being creative my entire life, growing up dancing and singing and playing instruments, and later in life going into a career as a performer and working on visual art in my spare time. I have often had these waves of being incredibly interested and inspired and passionate about what I'm doing, and then dipping down into apathy and lack of motivation. And I know that a lot of that for me is caused by my mental health and my struggles with depression, but it can happen to anyone. You don't have to have depression, you don't have to be depressed to struggle with creative blocks or to be burnt out. It can happen to anyone. And while I've touched on aspects of this in the past, I really thought it was important to talk about it a little more in depth, in the hopes that even one person out there feels a little less alone. So be gentle with yourself, take care of yourself. Remember that you are only human and sometimes you need a break. So that's it for today's BuJo Babble. I hope you enjoyed it. Please give it a like if you found it helpful, and just in general, if you like this series and want more BuJo Babble episodes. As always, if you have any requests or suggestions for future topics, leave them down below. I love making videos based on your suggestions. And with that, I'm gonna get going. Thank you so much for watching this video, and I will see you very soon in my next one. Bye, friends. I want to take a moment to thank my patrons for their support. Extra special thanks to our newest patrons, Lola, Jasmine, Gemma, and Stephanie. Welcome all of you to the squad. I'm so excited to have you. If you at home want to join the squad, feel free. There's a link in the card and in the description box down below. And if you're looking for something else to watch, I recommend you check out this video or this video.